Hi, greetings, Tim.
Hi, Senator. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time again today. I
Of
appreciate
course,
that.
you bet.
You were in the chamber last night for the State of the Union, and so my question is, what was the energy like in that room? Did it change throughout the 90 minutes, or was it as chilly as it seemed watching it at home?
I'll tell you, it was such a divided room. It was a campaign speech from the very beginning, and so you had one side of the room cheering the president on in this campaign speech, and the other side kind of bracing themselves, wishing we were hearing a president, not a candidate.
Uh, I must admit I've never really seen people cheering like 4 more years and stuff like that. And you've seen a few states of the union. Is this the first time you've seen that kind of reaction inside the chamber?
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly the speech was written as a campaign speech, and the reaction was very different than I've ever seen. Because normally a president is trying to talk about the challenges our nation faces and how to bring together actions to take on those challenges. But we didn't really hear that last night. We heard no plan for how to take on infrastructure in America, no plan on housing, no plan on carbon pollution. And what we heard on health care was a misrepresentation when the president said that he is going to protect pre-existing conditions, folks with pre-existing conditions to be able to get insurance, and yet both the low-cost, low-value insurance policies that he campaigned for and pushed don't do that, and he's in court trying to tear down the protections for those with pre-existing conditions. And so and from a policy perspective of the challenges America faces, the speech was pretty much bankrupt.
After the speech, of course, everybody's talking about Nancy Pelosi ripping up the president's speech. Before that, of course, he snubbed her attempt at a handshake. Do you have any comment on either of those moments?
Just these symbolic moments really capture the deep division we're facing. Division that has been accentuated by the impeachment proceedings in the Senate. This is the very first time in U.S. history that the leader of the Senate, instead of saying we have a responsibility under the Constitution to provide a full and fair trial, and we're going to do that, instead I'm going to work hand in glove with the defendant working towards exoneration. So the Senate has absolutely failed to hold anything that Americans would view as a fair trial. We understand that a trial in America involves access to witnesses and access to documents. This wasn't a trial, this was a cover-up. It's a deep damage to our Constitution, and it leaves a profound partisan scar.
Of course, later today, you're going to cast a vote on whether or not President Trump did what he's accused of doing. I heard this morning Alabama Senator Doug Jones announced he will vote to convict President Trump. Do you expect this to be like a straight party line vote, or do you think a few senators will cross party lines to vote in a different way than their party?
You know, I really don't know. The question is being raised in terms of Senator Manchin of West Virginia, Senator from Arizona, and Kristen Sinema, and I really don't know. What I do know is where I stand on this, which is that we saw and heard extensive information, even without access to the critical documents that would have sealed the case. We saw extensive information about the president's top team being roped into an international criminal conspiracy to corrupt the 2020 election with the help of a foreign country. It is far more serious than Watergate. Watergate was about trying to spy on the Democratic National Committee. This is about compelling a foreign government to do a sham investigation, to smear a potential opponent, doing so using the power of the state, including military security aid for a country at war with Russia. This is an order of magnitude more serious than Watergate.
We could talk about impeachment quite a bit, but I know after impeachment there's more work to be done. What's next on your agenda, Senator?
Well, I would love to see us take on the fundamental issues on health care, on housing, on education, on living wage jobs. I'd love to see us take on the issues surrounding saving our planet from carbon pollution and climate chaos. I must say, I thought that the president would lay out a couple avenues last night to do that, to take those things on. And I think that would have been good policy and good politics. We just didn't hear it.
Well, Senator, I know it's a busy day for you. Thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. Best of everything to you, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Tim. Take care now.